Hello, everyone. Good afternoon to you all. I welcome you all to the Pick Parent Academy channel here on YouTube. My name is Eki Asafo, and I am the co-founder of the Pick Parent Academy. And what we do is that if you are new here, if you don't know anything about Pick Parent Academy, Pick Parent Academy, we are an academy that gives strategies to parents. We teach parents how to raise their children. And I welcome you here. Please, if you can hear me, if you can see me, let me see your comments in the comment section. And let me know where you are joining in from so that we can go ahead with today's class. Let me know. I want to see your comments. I want to see if you can hear me, if you can see me. Let me see the comments so that I can be sure that you can see me. So today we are actually looking at what the school doesn't teach. What the school doesn't teach. I'm still waiting for the comments. I don't know if I can be seen or I can be heard. I can see some people here already. Okay. All right. I believe I can be heard. Please give me a moment. Okay. So, yes. Okay. Okay. Hello, Hannah. Good afternoon. I see you. I see you. I see you. Okay. Good. 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 Thanks for confirming. So we can move on. We can move on with the class now. All right. I welcome you, Hannah. I welcome you to the class today. So, if you haven't shared this link to your family and friends, please do so now. I believe that this conversation that we are going to have today is going to be a blessing to someone, to you, to someone, to another parent. So you want to share to the various WhatsApp groups, all the platforms that you are on, so that somebody somewhere can also learn something. So we are going to talk about what the school doesn't teach, the life lessons that your child needs, from you as a parent. So we weren't actually going to talk about this today. It was going to be a different, discussion, but someone sent a video to me. And after looking at the video, I told myself, nah, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about this. So this is why we are actually going to talk about this today. So there's a school, a university, okay, in Canada, and what they do, they have a course called adulting courses. And what they teach is that young adults, okay, go there to learn basic life skills. What are some of the skills they learn there? They learn how to cook, they learn how to do laundry, they learn, basic financial skills, they learn how to manage their emotions, how to do budgeting, and, social intelligence. These are some of the things that young adults go to this university to learn. And this has become like most adults young adults are actually going there to learn. So I asked myself, what is actually the problem? Okay, what do you think? What do you think that's is the reason that is making most of these young adults go out there to actually learn these courses? So, as a society, as parents, is there something that we are missing? This is the question that I want us to ask ourselves. Is there something that is missing to a point where skills, okay, basic life skills that are supposed to be taught in the home, young adults are now rushing to school to go and study this course? So let's dive deeper. I want you to give me some comments in the comment section and tell me, what is that skill that you wished you learned, that you wish your parents taught you when you were a child? What is that one skill that now you are an adult, you struggle with that skill? What is that skill that you wish your parents taught you? Taught you. So I'll be waiting to see that. So let's move on with our class today. It's actually very when I saw the video, I was like, whoa. I was really sad when I saw the video, and I decided that we are going to talk about it today. So what is actually missing? Okay, What does it mean? Most of the times, as parents, we are most of the times focused on things that are not really very, very, very important. There are skills that without those skills, children cannot survive in this world. Yes, there are skills that without them, no, you can't survive. If you don't know how to, how to prepare meals, of course someone will say that there are restaurants around, you can go there and buy foods and all of that. But how you are raising your child, do you think that they can even go to, like, even these restaurants, the food they prepare there and all of that, are they healthy? What do they put into the food that they prepare? So if you are relying on someone else, if you are telling us, I've heard most people say, I don't need any skills. I can, when I grow, I'll hire people to do this for me, to do this for me, to do that for me. See, if you don't teach your child these skills, they will suffer. They will grow. I've seen children, okay? I've seen children whose parents didn't teach them important life skills. And then when they grew, they held their parents responsible. They questioned their parents that, why didn't you teach me this? Why didn't you teach me that? And it's a problem now. Okay. It's a problem now. So I want us to actually pay attention. If you have to get a pen and a journal or something, a book to take points, please do. Please do. This is a free class. This is a free class, but I believe me that you are going to learn something from this class. Now, let's look at the mistakes that we do as parents. What are some of the mistakes that we do? The first mistake we do is that we are most of the times focused only on academic, success. That is the only focus. We are focused on letting our children get the A's in maths, the science, A's in science, and all of that without teaching important skills that they will need in life. I'm not saying academics is wrong. No, don't get me wrong. Academics is good. It's perfect. It's important that we train our children, we educate them, we send them to school. But let's know that taking your child to school, okay, taking your child to school doesn't mean that your child is going to learn everything, all the skills that they will need, they will get in the school. No, you have to teach it. It is your responsibility as a parent to teach these life skills. Don't leave it to the school. Don't focus on only the academics where you are only focused on letting your child get A's and the ones in the subjects. No, there are children who are, smart. They are bookies, but they can't do anything. They can't do anything. A child who can recite formulas, okay, but can't regulate their emotions is not ready for life. That child is just ready for exams. That child is just ready for exams. Let me take that again. A child who can recite formulas but can't regulate their emotions, okay, is not ready for life. That child is just ready for exams. So are we focusing on building skills? If all your focus is to let your child, chew the books, learn for academic success, if that is your focus, I want you to think about it again. Sit back and take a second look at it again. It is not bad, it is good, but whilst you are doing that, ensure you teach life skills. Ensure you teach them how to cook. Ensure you teach them how to control their emotions. We will get there. We will get there. Another mistake that we make, okay, as parents is that we focus only on obedience. My child must obey me. And therefore, we are just focused on children obeying us, taking our instructions here and there, go here, come here. Once a child says no to you, it's a problem. I said it the other time in our previous class, the class we had last week. Don't let your child, when your child says no, when your child says no to you, when they say something to you or you say something to them and they tell you no, they want to understand, they ask questions. Be glad that your child is doing that. If your child is able to say no to you, they will be able to say no to someone outside who wants to molest them. When your child is able to say no to you. So let us not focus on raising our children to become obedient. There's this blind obedience that we want from our children. And we most of the time love these children who obey us. Yes, we think we love our children, but most of the times they are conditional love. In the inner tribe, we are currently reading the 5 love languages of children, and it was so clear. Most of the children we are raising, we love them because we love the ones who obey us, who does things for us, do the things that we want. Those are the kids we love most. Please don't let your love be conditional, and don't stop your children. Don't just let your children obey. Teach them honor. Teach them honor. Honor is the language of kings. Slaves just obey, but honor, teach them to honor. Okay, honor people. Teach them the people they need to honor. Them, all of that, to honor themselves. If you tell your child something and the child ask questions, or the child want to know why, please don't feel like, why, how dare you question me, how dare you say no to me. No, those are traumas. I tell you, if you are doing that, it's a trauma. It's telling you that go and fix yourself. Know that if that is what you are doing every day in your parenting, tell yourself that it is time that I fix myself. Because if you do not work on yourself, you can't give value to your child. You will kill that creativity. You will kill it in your child. Your child will not be able to, explore. They will not be able to ask questions. They will not be able to seek, clarity, because you are shutting them up all the time. You want them to obey you. It's not about obedience. The conversation about parenting is not about obedience, or it's not about what is right or what is wrong. It's about wisdom. It's about wisdom and foolishness. That is it. So we want to, there are certain things your child may do. It is not a time to, disgrace the child, shame the child, or do all sort of things. It is the time to actually sit back. I tell parents in the inner tribe that you should have a journal, okay, where you write some of these misbehaviors your child puts up. You write them down so that when it's time to when your child does something you don't like, instead of you shouting, yelling at the child, write that thing down and then look at it later on, and look deeper into it, what you can do to help this child. It's very, very important. It's very important. And another mistake that we are making is that we are always protecting our children. Always, all the time, protecting our children. We don't want the children to do things for themselves. We the moment we see our children struggling, we want to come in and then save this child. It looks as if we don't save the child will die or something. No, dangerous. God protects us all the time. Do not swap roles with God. God is telling you, you have a responsibility as a parent. It is your responsibility to raise, to guide this child. God is God's responsibility is to protect us. But most of the times we want to protect our children and then leave the guiding, the parenting to God. We say things like "Nyame na ehwɛ nipa" and all of that. God protects. Nyame bɔ yɛn ho ban. God will not raise our children for us. Some people are praying, they go to church praying all the time. God, please change my children. God will not change that child. It is time we get certain things right. And it's all about changing our perspectives about certain things. There are certain things God will not do for you. Something you have to do for yourself, God will not come and do it for you. Just because you say you believe in Him, you are a Christian? No. We have many examples of people, of pastors, people, anointed men of God, who didn't pay attention to their parenting, and it ended, very, very, very awful. So let's not shield our children. You may want to protect your child, but the world will, when it's time, the world doesn't, say this child is this child is this person's child, so I'll not let this thing. Like, there are certain things, it will happen to your child. It will happen to your child. So we need to actually be very intentional about the things that we do. Being intentional, it means teaching your child to live without you, not to depend on you forever. Being intentional, it means that teaching your child to live without you, because your child is not going to depend on you forever, and you are not going to be there forever with your child. Death is inevitable. I always say this. Let's, like, our time on earth. There are times we are not going to be here forever. I always say this. We all have a time that we will leave this world. So if we have a time that we are going to leave these kids, let's ask ourselves, what do we have to teach these children so that in our demise they will not suffer? If we are these are some of the questions I constantly ask myself when I'm not around. How is my child going to survive? So there are certain things I stay back. There was a time we had a 5-year-old boy. Okay, he came to spend some time with me at home, and the mom brought her. Actually, she was going somewhere, so she brought her to me, and I could see that this guy struggles. For me, when I have children around me, I let them do things on their own. So I could see, I was comparing this child to, I was looking at what my child was 3 then. I was looking at what my 3-year-old is able to do and what the 5-year-old, it struggles with. So I was like, I saw the gap. Do not do for your child. They are kids. Most of the time, they are kids. You think that the child can't do it, so let me do it for that child. You are killing something in that child. Allow them. Allow them. Let them do things. They may fail. They may not do it as we want or as we expect them to do it. But it's okay. It's learning for them. That is how they learn. Allow your 2-year-old to do things on their own. When they get to certain stages, they want to do things by themselves. Allow them. Allow them. Let them do it. Let them make the mistakes. Let them pour the water on the floor and teach them that, oh, you have done this. You have to clean it. When you pour water on the floor, you have to clean it. When you do this, you have to do this. Let's teach them responsibility. Okay? Let's teach all of that to them. Don't overprotect your child. I understand. Sometimes of course, every parent, we all have good intentions, but good intentions alone is not enough in our parenting. Good intentions without plans, good intentions without strategies, good intentions without not knowing what to do will not do anything. That is why I say the very moment you become a parent, the first thing, one of the first things you have to do is to seek growth, because you can't give what you do not have. You can't give. It's unfortunate that in our society, we think that the moment you become a parent, you know everything. No one can teach you how to raise your child. It's rather unfortunate. But I know we are going to get better as we move on. So let's look at another mistake that we do as parents. We give fear-based discipline. Fear-based discipline. We want our children to, like when a Ghanaian mother or father says, I'm going to discipline this child, they know that it is time for beating. It is time for spanking. But that is not discipline. We have Dr. Miles Morrow says that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. We have actually given a different meaning to discipline. We have abused the word discipline. Discipline is not yelling. Discipline is not beating a child. Discipline is not spanking. Discipline means to teach. Discipline means to guide. Discipline is what you do, okay, so that the child doesn't even make mistakes, or the child knows what to do, what is expected. They are the structures that you put in place. So in your home, for instance, you can let the children know these are values, these are what we do. All of those things that you are doing is you putting, building a structure for them to learn how we conduct ourselves, how we do this, how we do all of that. So discipline, let's stop how we are giving the wrong meaning to discipline. Discipline is not I will beat you. Discipline doesn't mean all of that. It means to teach, to guide a child. That is our role as parents, to teach them, to guide them. We are. That is why it's important that we learn. Because if you don't learn and you are doing something, you feel overwhelmed. You don't know what to do. I know most of the parents, like most of them, they want to do the right things, okay? But you could see they are struggling. And the struggle comes from the fact that they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. So we need to take note of that no matter where you are in your parenting, no matter the mistakes you have made, no matter the things you have done wrong, you can still learn, you can relearn and unlearn the negative patterns, okay, so that we can change the narrative. I always say this, we can always change the narrative. And then the final mistake that I want to talk about is control. We want to control our children. And we see them as kids, but see, change how you see your child. Your child is a god, is a god. God has sent that person, that child, to you for a purpose. So don't feel like you own that child, and so you have to control that child. Like that's when someone wants to control you, they control you because they feel they own you. This child belongs to God. God has only given you that opportunity. You only have the opportunity to raise that child. It doesn't mean that you own the child, because you gave birth to the child is for you, so you can do whatever you want to the child. No, you can't. You can't. And I see that, see, if you are always, sometimes if God has actually created these children, I believe that God has created these children to answer, okay, to answer certain challenges that we are facing in our societies. So if you are not allowing, if you are sort of, if you have become a block, a person, someone or something who is trying to prevent what God wants to do, you know that God can actually take you off the way so that He will have His way to do what He wants to do with the child. So you want to be careful. For me, I am afraid of parenting, like how we are raising these children. And that is why I have stayed committed to learn. I am learning. I know parenting is life, like it's a life something. You can't come and learn one today and say, you need to be in an accountability, system that will hold you accountable, that will keep reminding you so that you are always on your toes, so that all the time when you are listening, when you are learning, you are resetting your mind. That is what we have to do, because you can learn something right now and you forget. That is why we need to always keep reminding ourselves. And we were shouting about the inner tribe, the inner tribe. So please, let's take note of this. Parenting is something. It doesn't matter. I hear most parents say, in our time, this is what we are doing in our time. And in my new book that is coming, Connecting with the Heart of Your Child, I go deeper into all of that. It will be out soon. We are going to give a flash sale where we are going to give the price at a very, 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 cool price. And then after that, all of that will come. So we will give all the announcement when it's ready. It's a book that I'll recommend that every parent reads, Connecting with the Heart of Your Child. So let's take note of all of these things that we are learning. And when you learn, don't just learn and go and do something else. Take the the important things you learned from it, sit with it, re-strategize, plan. How can you implement what you have learned today? That is how it's all in the implementation. If you learn and you don't implement, it's nothing. Wisdom is you knowing how to do what to do with what you have learned. It's the strategies that you are putting in place. So let's look at what we can change, what we can start to do as parents to help build these skills in the children. What can we do, okay, to help our kids thrive in this in the society where we are in? First of all, we need to build life skills. Some let me mention some of the skills to you. Some of the skills we can build in our children. We need to teach them how to cook. We need to teach them cooking, how to cook. Cooking, when you are teaching your child to cook, I understand. So what you can do is that you can dedicate a day. Okay, that is what I do. We have a day that we let the children try. We teach them how to do and all of that. And there's a book too that I'm preparing. It's on let's say the guides. It's a guide that will guide you, help you teach every skill to your child. So if you are teaching your child how to prepare a certain meal, you need to put the processes down one by one. Okay, this is the first thing you have to do. When you finish, move on to this next process. And when you have that guide, you print it out and then paste it in the kitchen. If it's about cooking, you paste it in the kitchen. If it's about laying bed, you paste that thing where the bed is so that the child will see every time when they are laying the bed, they are going to go through that guide. Okay, it's going to be a guide for them to learn to do something. There are kids who are visual learners, they learn fast when they see. There are some who are auditory, they learn fast when they hear. So you want to do all of that so that you are building, all the other parts. You are building all the other parts. So it's something that we are also putting together to give to parents to also help you to make the parenting, easier for you. So that is that we need to teach life skills. Cooking helps build executive functioning skills. When you are teaching your child to cook, you are building executive functioning skills. You are teaching them planning. Even you help your child learn maths when you teach them to cook. Because in the kitchen, what do? You use measuring cups. You are measuring rice. You are measuring. You are counting the tomatoes you are using. You are counting pepper. You are counting onions and all of that. All that you are doing, all the things you do in the kitchen, it's math skills. So if your child has problem learning maths, take her to the kitchen, take him to the kitchen, start, let them learn. This is what we do. This is how we measure. This is 1 cup of rice. When I add another cup of rice, how many cups am I getting? Okay, so cooking helps teach planning. You teach the child how to plan. Before we go to the kitchen, we know the type of food we are going to cook. What are the ingredients we are going to, have to get ready to be able to start cooking? You are teaching them planning. So in one skill, you are teaching different, other skills in addition. And another skill that you can also teach is financial management. Financial management, budgeting. Teach them how to budget before you go to, the market. You most of the times parents we do. It's true that children learn, they learn by watching, but sometimes we need to involve them in the things that we do. So if you go to the market, when you're going to go to the market, you do some budgeting, you put down some, you plan, you know the things you have to get before you get to the market. Involve the child. Let the child come to you. These are the things we are going to get from the market. This is the amount of money we are going to, spend. This is the amount of money we are going to spend on it. So, like all of that, you are teaching them planning, financial management. We don't have to spend beyond this amount of money that we have. And let's say when you take your children to the mall or a place to maybe get a few things for them, you plan, you let them know these are the things we are going to buy. And when they get there and maybe they see something else and they want it, you tell them, no, we didn't plan for this. Let's get what we came here for. And then on our next, if you want something, you go and then write them in your wish list or whatever wish they want, the list they have. They add that thing that they want to it. So all of that, you are teaching them to prioritize, certain things. You don't just buy because you feel like you want to buy. They are all financial skills. Let's teach them how to save. Get a piggy bank for them. You have how do you call it, a savings. You can have savings. You can have one for spending, one for maybe charity or something. So you divide into percentages. This percentage goes to savings, this percentage goes to spending, this percentage goes to charity or gifts or whatever you want to name it. It's very important that we teach them. We are doing, it's something that we are going to do with the kids in the reading minds. We are going to have a savings challenge, 100-day savings challenge. My kids have actually started. They started, beginning of this month, and we are looking at how it's going to go. 100-day, we are going to, they are saving a certain amount for 100 days to see the amounts they are going to get. It's all about, you are teaching the children how to value money. They don't have to spend money anyhow. They have to respect money and all of that. So let's watch. And anything we are teaching them, let's make sure that we are doing the things that we are teaching them. Because we can't teach A and then come and do B and expect the children to do A. No, they will not do it. They will do what they are seeing you do. So please, let's take note of these things. Let's teach them organizational skills, how they can organize their things. Let them fold their clothes by themselves. As young as 3 years old, they can do it. Your 3-year-old can fold anyhow. They don't have to be perfect. That is one thing you have to like put at the back of your mind. Your child doesn't have to be perfect. Let them do it the way they are doing it. After that, you can teach them later on. Okay, as you are doing, you can do it together with them to teach them this is how you fold your clothes. You put them in your closet or wardrobe or whatever, and then or your bag, all of that. Teach them how to organize their stuff. If they have a bookshelf, look at how they've arranged their books. Teach them, take them through the process. If you want to arrange your books, okay, these are the steps you have to follow to do it. They don't know, honestly. It's not like they are intentionally doing the wrong things or they are punishing you. As some parents know, "Akola we do or trim us, so papa." I've heard that over and over again. There's this thing that they say that if you were a bad child or so, and you give birth and your child is stubborn, it's God's way of punishing you. No, the child may be strong-willed, and it's a trait that we want. Because strong-willed children, they will grow. They are the ones who go to become the president, the leaders, and all of that. So we need them. We need children who are also, who have the other traits. So if your child is strong-willed, it's not a punishment. It's an attention. God is drawing your attention to the fact that you need to grow to help that child. You need to grow to guide that child well. You don't have to mess up, because if you do, things can go wrong. And yes, parenting, there is a manual. There is a manual. When when Samson's mother got pregnant, God told him, the angel of God told him she needed to do after they give birth to that child, the things where the child, how they were supposed to actually raise that child. There was a manual. There was a manual. But it was unfortunate. Samson, at the end of the day, didn't listen to their parents, and then it ended the way it ended. So let's know that there is a way to actually raise a child, and it's a process. There is nothing like a quick fix. Give me this and for my child to do this. Pa, 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 pa. No, there is nothing like that. It's a process. It's a process, and we go through the process so that we can give better to our children. So let's look at the next skill that we can teach. We need to teach social skills. There are some children, they are always on the phone, no social life, nothing. The screen, we are going to also talk about the effect of the screen. I have that session with someone. I'll see if I can share the link. I think it's this Sunday. I'm going to try and get the link to share in the community. So we need to teach, all of that social skills. How do they introduce themselves? How can they, talk and all of that? Let's teach them those skills. They are very, very important. Let's teach safety skills, communication skills, critical thinking skills, time management. I mean, the skills are a lot. These skills, we need to take our time and teach them. If you are teaching them these skills, They wouldn't have to grow. They can grow, use their time to learn something better. They wouldn't, by the time they grow, it's not the time they are going to sit to learn how to manage their time, to learn how to control their emotions, to learn how to, they can be doing something, productive. And these skills, when you are teaching them, it's you are building them, you are preparing them for life. There are so many. I was listening to one of these women, and she was like, she knows so many, children of very wealthy people, that when they grew, their parents couldn't give them their property. They couldn't, use their names on their property because they didn't trust their children to take care of the things that they have. So they had to look for some other people who they think have, qualified, who they think will be able to take good care of the properties they have built. And then they gave everything to those other kids. So it doesn't matter where you are. Even I always say that, see, the more wealthier you are, the more you should focus on your children, because you may give your children that comfort. You may want to make them very, very comfortable. If you don't intentionally make life tough for them, if you don't intentionally do certain things, you may raise them to become like any other person. Any other person. Let's focus on building skills. The skills are a lot: spiritual skills, adversity skills, conflict resolution skills, empathy. We need it. We need to teach them. And if you don't know how, you can't teach it. And honestly, I wish I could teach all of these things, but we are going to spend only an hour in this class. I can't teach everything. I can't teach everything. So it's important. That is why it's important to get into a system where you will learn all of these things to be able to help yourself and your child. Okay. And know that this is actually a formula, okay, that you are learning. You need to teach the child. You do it together with the child. You leave them to do it alone. Okay. You leave them to do it alone. And then you allow them to continuously do it. So it will take time. There's this book I mentioned the other time, Outliers. Outliers. I heard one of my mentors actually spoke deeper about that book, and I was so glad. Like he said that was the book that changed his life, his mindset. He said way back in 2004, he was actually doing things he was starting at that time, and he didn't know what to do. And then he chanced on the book Outliers. He picked it up and then he started reading. And he said he didn't even read everything. No, he read up to some part, and that was all he needed in the book to change his life. So Outliers is a book I recommend for every parent. See, it talks about the 10,000 hour rule. If you want to teach a skill to your child, you don't just say something and you say you are done. No. It will take time to build life time management in a child. It will take time. So every month you can have, let's say, a focus for the month. This month you are focusing on maybe time management. Then you break them down. You break them down. These are the things we are going to teach about time management. So every week or every whatever, you teach them to the child until the child gets it, until it becomes a part of them. Then you move on to another skill. There's a personalized education plan that we do also. We teach parents about it. So every child, every child is different. So you build a plan, and it's not even about school, or it's not about math and science. It's about skills you are going to teach every child, all the kids that you have. So I'm also creating a resource around that to be able to also help parents. So it will be from pregnancy. When you are pregnant, okay, before you give birth, you are taking, you have all the part where you are going to paste a picture of yourself, whilst pregnant. And after you give birth to the child, a picture of the child, and then the skills you want to build in the child. So as the child is growing at every stage, so maybe at toddler stage, these are the skills you want to teach this child. By the time the child is 5 years old, the child should be able to maybe fold their clothes. The child should be able to bath themselves. The child should be able to do all of that. And then you have your goals you have set, so you know what you have to do because you have a goal you are working towards. Okay, that is that. And then from maybe age 6 to age 10, this by age 10, these are the skills the child must have. And then you write all of that down, and then you build it gradually. And then you set another goal from 11 to maybe to 15, then all of that. So you are working with a plan, and that is what being intentional is about. You don't just do anything, you don't just follow the crowd. No. As a parent who want to really change the narrative, as a parent who really want to raise a powerful generation, you don't just follow everyone. You don't follow the trend just because this is what is up. So you are following it. You are. I know parents who will spend time to watch Big Brother Africa, to watch all of these telenovelas, and then when it's time for them to read, even read how do you call it, 200 words, they will tell you they can't read. This is too much for me to read, I can't read. But you have the time to watch Big Brother, or even read these bloggers, their posts and all of that. Use that time to do something beneficial that will help you and your child. Learning will help you and your child. So let's take note of this. It's very, very important. Okay, it's very, very important. And what other thing do we need to teach? We need to mentor. Get mentors for your children. That is why we even brought the reading minds, because there's a stage where sometimes the kids, because they are too familiar with you, sometimes they don't want to do certain things, and sometimes they will not even tell you everything. And it's perfectly okay for your child not to tell you everything, but you should have a mentor, okay, a trusted adult in their life, that the things that they can't tell you, they will tell that adult. And of course, that adult will be in communication with you, and you'll be thinking together with that adult on how you can help your child with maybe the challenges that they face. Your child might, have a boyfriend or a girlfriend and may find it very, very difficult to tell you because of the things you will do, your reactions. Maybe they may be having a feeling that they want to talk about, but because of how you react, they will not tell you. But maybe if there is a mentor, okay, they will go and speak to that mentor, and then they will, share these things with them. And then they will be given some, what to do and all of that. So it's important that our children lack mentors, and that is why they do whatever they do. They don't, parents are doing whatever they want without being good role models for the kids, and the kids too have no trusted adults that they can look up to whenever they face any challenge. So we want to give them intentionally position people in their lives who can help them. And these people I'm talking about doesn't necessarily have to be your relatives or your family. It can be people you want your child to, learn something valuable from. That when you take out mentorship from a child's life, hmm, I most of the times say that if I had a mentor, or if any of us growing up, if there was a mentor in our lives who were teaching us, these things, how to do this, most of us would have been, you know, we wouldn't have been where we are now. But all the same, it doesn't mean that we can't raise our children in that way. We can. We can do it. We can do it. And another thing that we can do is also, we need to allow the children to learn. Let's stop overprotecting them. I mentioned earlier, let's give them that opportunity to learn. Okay. Whatever failure, when your child fails, see it as an opportunity for them to learn more. Don't beat them when they fail, when they make mistakes. Do not beat them. Tell yourself, this is an opportunity for me to help my child to think more. Sometimes we want to actually do certain things. So most of us want to, most of us with big dreams, most of us are intelligent, but the only problem we have is how to actually come out and do what we want to do. Because growing up, we were beaten for making mistakes. So you are afraid that you come out, you come and make mistakes. Hey, people will laugh at me, people will criticize me, so I can't come. So what? If you make a mistake and people laugh at you, so what? You are learning. And these are some of the things we need to, some of the opportunities we need to give to our children. When they fail, tell them. I always tell my kids, it's okay to fail. What is important is to learn from why you have failed. If you do not take any lessons from your failure, then it's of no use. But we fail because it's an opportunity for us to even think more. It's an opportunity to solve a problem. That is why in Africa, there are so many problems in Africa, but who are the people to solve these problems? Because of the way we were raised. So let's change the narrative. Let's raise children who will grow to there are opportunities. People tell me that um some time ago someone said, I learned that the more problems you have, the more the opportunities you have. But why is it that in Africa we have so many problems, but we are still suffering? What are we doing? And I was like, yes, it's because of how we were raised, but we can begin to change the narrative. It all starts with how we are raising these children, how we are letting them uh, uh, um, own their mistakes, own their failures, and tell themselves, no, I did this wrongly. Today, we were talking about teaching your kids problem solving in the inner tribe, and we gave out some strategies that they could use. Unfortunately, I can't teach you here. I can't teach you here. Okay. So we need to teach our children, okay, how to solve problems when they make mistakes, what they have to do. They need to think. They need to think. They have the ability to think, to bring out solutions. So teach them. Teach them. It's very important that we do that. And another thing we need to do is that we need conversations with our kids. I hope you know that this month is a Pride Month of the LGBTQ society. It's the Pride Month, too. And though Donald Trump is actually someone who is against that, but still, you know, it's going on. People are still doing it. Even in Ghana, there are people, the LGBTQ, they are everywhere. So you need to actually learn. We'll be having a sex conversation the sex education masterclass. It will be coming on next month, and I'll encourage every parent to actually be in that class to learn. How can you have sex conversations with your child? There are some parents, they can't. Oh, it's not like they can't. Even the pronunciation of sex is a problem for some parents. But if you can't even pronounce the word sex, how are you going to teach your children about sex education? You can't. So I want you to know there are some conversations, please, like you should have them with your child. If you have a girl child who is 8 years, 9 years, and you haven't even taught this child about menstruation, about the body changes, about how they are going to, all of that, then who are you raising? It is you. You have to have those conversations with the child. And there are some conversations you are a woman, you can't have with your child, your male child. The father has to have that conversation with the male child. And even the female kids, the female children, there are some conversations the father has to have with them. So many daddy issues, so many, mother wounds. It all comes from these things. So we need to have real conversations with these children. Let them know. Don't go and tell your child that when you start menstruating and you see you have sex, you will get pregnant. They will go and try it and they will not get pregnant. And they will say, my mom you cry doesn't know anything, or my dad doesn't know anything. When you have sex, you may not get pregnant. You can get pregnant. You cannot get pregnant. So don't teach them those things. Don't put fear in them. When you get closer to a man, you get pregnant. Like those things our parents taught us. It's a new generation. You can't compare our generation to theirs. There are so many things that in our time wasn't available, but in their time, it is there. It is there. So you want to intentionally teach these things. Have real conversations with them. Let them know things they have to do, things they can't do. Children today, they are good with, they are tech savvy kids. They know more because they were born into it. They know more about, certain things. You can buy a new gadget and your child can even take it and show you how to operate that particular gadget. That is who they are. So you need to intentionally teach other kids other skills that they may not have, that they may be suffering with. Don't focus only on academics, as I said earlier. Teach skills, life skills. Teach it intentionally. Plan, strategize. How am I going to teach this? That is wisdom. How? If you know how to do it, you are good to go. You are good to go. Don't overprotect them. Okay, don't overprotect them. Teach them skills. Have real conversation, sex conversations, body changes, puberty, all of that. Teach them that it's important that you need to learn to cook, you need to learn to organize your things. There's something we call the window of opportunities. When a child is young, you need to start teaching those skills. There's a time where when a child is young, from let's say 2, you can begin to teach certain skills, and when they grow, they will not struggle. It is when you don't let them do it, and then they become teenagers, you are forcing them to do it. It's not something that they have learned. That is when they begin to fight. And during the puberty stage, okay, naturally they feel they don't want to do things, they feel lazy, they want to be left alone, they don't want to do anything. Like that sort of laziness comes in. But if you don't understand that stage and what they go through, you will always be fighting with your kids. Where I was previously, we had teenagers in the house, and when it's time for chores, they will all scatter. You will not see even a single person. And I used to ask myself, why? You come into the room, you see them sleeping. And I'll ask myself, but why? You have seen that we are cooking, we are, washing, we are do all of those things, and you are here sleeping. So learning all of these things, going back to those times, that is when I realized, oh, okay, so this is why. This is why. So stop fighting with your teenagers. They are going through something that you have no idea. And you've not also educated them on what they have to do, how the teenage brain works and what they can also navigate or maneuver their ways, through. So we need to teach. Once you are a parent, you are a teacher. You are a teacher. You can't take that away. You can't give that responsibility to a school. It is your responsibility to do that. So let's begin to learn. We are almost an hour through, and I don't know if we have any questions. We need to also focus on their mental health. Mental health. They may be facing challenges, peer pressure and all of those things. Connect more with your kids. Without connection, the child can't come to you. They won't come to you to talk about. They won't. They won't. You have to connect with the child before you can actually guide the child, before they will even listen to you. So in the inner tribe, we have daily connection activities that we give to parents so that they can connect with more with their child. Every day you are doing this with the child. It's all, to connect with the child so that at the end of the day, whatever thing you want to correct, whatever thing you want to tell the child will just listen. It's even with adults. The more connected you are with someone, the more you listen to them. Okay, the more you listen to them, you are free to share your problems with the person because you are connected with the child. Now imagine your child is not connected to you. You can't even hug your child. Like, it's all trauma. Seriously, it's all trauma. If you can't hug your child, please go back and learn. We had the trauma recently. You can go back and get that course and also learn about it. 2 things you can do in your parenting: your emotional intelligence, and then heal, 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 heal. The things you went through in your childhood is not your fault. But now that you are grown, it is your responsibility to heal from those wounds. You will be whole, okay? And it's a process. It's a process. It's a process. You get better as you keep doing. You get better as you keep learning. You get better as you keep implementing. That is how you get better to give better. So I want to end here. I don't know if there are any questions. I would be glad to answer them. If not, then I would want to end this class here. Thank you so much for joining me. And I really hope we have learned something here. And I know that we will implement what we have learned. That is very, very important. It's even important to me than anything. Implementation. You can be learning and learning and learning, and without implementation, you see no results. So it's important that we implement what we learn in the small way. Pick one thing, okay? Pick one thing. What is that skill that you struggled with? Growing, your parents didn't teach you that skill, but now growing up, you had to struggle to learn that skill. Begin to teach your child now. Start with one skill, just one skill, and teach it to your child gradually. And believe me, they will learn something and they will be grateful to you for teaching them that particular skill. So thank you so much. I believe there are no questions and I believe we have learned a lot from this class. So thank you so much for joining. I don't take your time for granted. I honor you and see you again next week where we bring you another, very, very educative session. So enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.